Chad joins us now for a look at sports. And Chad, last weekend the Blazers played 3 games in 3 nights, 3 days, and in the process lost a pair of defensemen. And what have they done to shore up the defense, so to speak, Chad?
They're still working on it, Bill, as they get into another 3 games in 3 nights weekend coming up with 2 games on Friday, Saturday, and then a trip to Seattle on Sunday. There's a little bit of concern amongst the team. Serge Lajoie, the head coach, saying today or a couple of days ago that they simply can't go on that road trip or come into the weekend with only really 4 qualified guys, although they've added a veteran forward, Jeff Faith, who is naturally a defenseman. They've added him to the back end, so that gives them 5 guys, but still looking for that one other guy to fill the 6-man roster on defense. But yeah, lots of questions going into this weekend on the back end, and yeah, it's a crucial weekend as well, of course, with Seattle and them tied for that final wild card spot, Bill. So again, lots of questions coming into this weekend. Also coming up on sports tonight, the Edmonton Oilers making a move that was a long time coming, at least according to Edmonton Oilers fans. We'll tell you more about that coming up. With Quinn Schmiemann and Luke Zazula out of the Blazers lineup, it leaves a bit of a void on the back end. Schmiemann was knocked out of Sunday's game in Prince George. He's been sidelined for a few games at least, while Zazula remains day-to-day with a shoulder injury after being hit awkwardly in Friday's game against Prince Albert. Now the Blazers are scrambling for bodies on defense, moving a veteran forward back, Jeff Faith, and calling up a player from the local minor midget team. The Blazers are short their full complement of defensemen, but they've reached deep into the roster to fill 2 vacant spots left behind by Quinn Schmiemann and Luke Zazula. 20-year-old veteran forward Jeff Faith has moved to defense, which is his natural position.
Yeah, I really like going back on defense, and just to know that I'm helping the guys out, like we have injuries, so they need me back there is really nice. So yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Great luxury to have somebody that is as versatile as Jeff. And like I said, it's a true measure of what he brings to the teams. You know, you might not always see it on the ice. What I like about him as a defenseman, he just keeps things simple positionally. He works himself in good position to defend. Not an easy guy to get around.
Faith, who was picked up in a November trade from Spokane, grew up playing defense before being switched to forward by the Chiefs last season. He played on the back end in Sunday's win in Prince George, with the Blazers down to 5 defensemen.
Just going back to defense, you just have to really think about slowing the game down. Like, it's more of a mental game, and you're making those quick passes, and you're thinking before you get to pucks instead of just more of a run and gun role, which I play up front.
The reality is he hasn't really played naturally at his natural position at defense. He hasn't played for a little bit over a year, so there's always that adjustment for him. But no, he does a really good job for us.
Serge Lajoie says it's simply the next man up approach heading into the 3-game weekend, even though there is a chance Zazula plays.
I think that the other defensemen have done a great job of filling, eating up those minutes that have been opened up with both Quinn and Zazula out. A guy like Montana Onibuchi has really thrived in that role of being somebody that knows he needs to be out there, potentially every second shift.
Yeah, obviously I like the opportunity. I get more engaged if I play more too, so it's been really good.
The Blazers have also called up minor midget player Tristan Allen, who's been on the ice with the big club this week, to add numbers in practice.
They invited me to come up for 3 practices, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then haven't told me much more.
Allen went undrafted but was picked up by the Blazers earlier this season. It's highly unlikely he plays this weekend, but he's loving every minute of the experience. After weeks of speculation, the Edmonton Oilers brought the hammer down on Peter Chiarelli, reportedly firing him during the second intermission of last night's 3-2 loss to Detroit, which is the worst team in the Eastern Conference. The Oilers announced during a media conference today that assistant GM Keith Gretzky will assume general manager duties, and Bob Nicholson will oversee hockey operations as the team looks for someone to replace Chiarelli.
Stops up, throws it towards the middle for Glendening. He scores.
The Oilers have won just 8 of their last 21 games. Tuesday's loss to Detroit was a 3rd straight at home. It was this type of play that triggered the firing of Peter Chiarelli.
When we made the coaching change, I really thought the team played well. We saw that we have it within the players in the dressing room to play at a top level in the league. We'd slipped again. some of the moves that we've made have not worked.
The move was made after the second period so that Chiarelli could leave the building when he wanted and as he saw fit. It was also so Bob Nicholson could speak to staff and players before the All-Star break and bye week. He sat down with the Oilers leadership group Tuesday night.
They felt that we've gone through a head coach, we've gone through a general manager now. The responsibility goes back to them in the room. We have to make sure that we give them the right tools to find the winning formula here. And, we're going to have a lot more discussion with that group. We have good leaders.
Assistant General Manager Keith Gretzky will take over GM duties in the interim, while Nicholson will oversee hockey operations with a focus on finding a new general manager. There will be no rush in that search.
We're going to really look for a person that can assess talent. I think that's a real key with the general manager today, and look for someone that can really help run all parts of the hockey operations as a GM's role.
After 4 general managers and 8 head coaches in 10 years, Nicholson said it's time to figure out what's wrong in the Oilers organization.
I'm going to try to open up more doors in all aspects of this organization to find out those little things that just haven't been fixed over the last number of years for us not being in the playoffs.
The Vancouver Canucks enter tonight's home game against Carolina with a 3-way tie for the 2 wildcard spots in the Western Conference. A big reason for that is this man, the quick emergence of Elias Pettersson, who is favored to win the Calder Trophy and will play for Team Pacific in this weekend's All-Star game in San Jose. The 20-year-old Swede has a rookie best 22 goals, 42 assists, and has given the Canucks a 1-2 punch up the middle with he and Bo Horvat that some are comparing to the days of Henrik Sedin and Ryan Kessler.
So you see PD arrive at training camp and your first thoughts are?
I've heard a lot about him, like a lot of hype, so I was pretty excited. I'm not one to judge. I look like I'm 12, but I thought he looked pretty fragile and thin, but I guess that's common over in Europe, so I was pretty excited about his skill.
Elias Pettersson is a skating example of never judge a book by its cover. His initial appearance may have suggested leaflet, but his body of work is more hockey encyclopedia. We may be only talking about 39 career NHL games, but nearly all of them have been memorable. And despite missing 11 games, he continues to lead the Canucks in goals and points.
He was scoring early, got confidence early, and now he's taken off. And I think we're seeing just how special he is.
Any doubt in your mind who Rookie of the Year should be?
No.
This is far from being a West Coast bias, but the NHL Rookie of the Year, hands down, is Elias Pettersson. Forget about the fact the nearest rookie is a distant 12 goals and 18 points back of Pettersson. Ask yourself what kind of season the Canucks would be having without the all-world rookie, who continues to impress night in and night out, often in ways we never even notice.
And a quick shot, he scores! Pettersson has a goal and an assist, and the Canucks have a 2-0 lead.
So on the power play, I thought he was kind of locked in the top upper corner, and 2 guys were approaching him. And I remember sitting on the bench, I was like, just get rid of it. There's going to be a turnover or breakaway, and next thing you know, he kind of forgets about the puck and just kind of stared at the defenseman in the eyes, and the defenseman backed off, and it gave him 5 feet of room. And I remember I asked him, I was like, what did you do, man? Like, I was freaking out. Like, I thought there was a goal against for sure. And he was like, well, I look at the puck, then the D-man's going to jump me. But if I stared him in the eyes, he's going to respect me and give me space. And just alone that, I was like, holy smokes, man. Like, to have that in your mindset in a situation where 2 guys are coming on you, to think that fast was just left me speechless.
You think that story is good? How about this one? For a kid who oozes confidence on the ice and is morphing into a superstar in front of our very own eyes, Elias never envisioned this stardom. In fact, far from it.
To be honest, growing up, I didn't think I would play in NHL, so I was just practicing hard, always working, and took step by step, and like now I'm here and living my dreams. So.
Scores! Elias Pettersson finds it, buries it, and it's 2-1 Canucks.
Pretty special player he is, makes the Canucks watchable. Both women's semifinals go tonight at the Australian Open, and after Milos Raonic was eliminated last night in the quarterfinals, there are no more Canadians to cheer for. 16th ranked Raonic was facing the 28th ranked Lucas Pouille from France. Raonic had a 5-2 lead in the first set, but he coughed it up and ends up dropping the first set in a tiebreaker 7-6 as Pui paints the line right there. Second set, and Pui continued to roll up 3-1. He rips the serve, attacks the net, wins the point there. He would win the set 6-3. Raonic serving in the third set coming up. It starts a lengthy rally here between him and Pui, and eventually the Thornhill, Ontario native gets the point. He would win the set, but loses the match in 4. And for everything Kamloops sports, including that story on the injury woes on the Kamloops Blazers back end, you can go to cfjctoday.com.
Better yet, eating a piece of pie or two with or without ice cream or a slice of cheese. You can find a list of pies at nationaldaycalendar.com. That's a messy pie, that last one.
How come we don't have a pie right now here?
No kidding.
I don't know.
You love pies.
I love pies.
You do love pies.
I take pies over cake.
I know.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
And apple fritters and.
Yes, those are good too.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to give Bill a treat, it's an apple fritter.
Okay.
I hope my grandma's not watching because I love her apple pie, but that apple pie that they had that was just stacked, that looks so good.
Yes.
Oh, but it's going to be pie for dinner.
All right, that's it. Order a pie right now, yes.
Max and Ivy are going to love that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's our time for now. We're back again at 11, so please join us then.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.